Good morning, traders. This is my quick morning brief, and this is the reason days like today is the reason that I'm a day trader because I mean everything looked pretty bad. They came in, they were just chopping it around yesterday. It was not really given any kind of signal to buy the dip. So this move this morning, we're missing out on it as day traders, and you know what? It doesn't bother me one bit. So there are times that the setup is not there, and you just let it get past you, and then try to re-enter whenever you can. So basically, what I'm going on here: demand zone, supply zone on SPY, uh, crossing the midline of our trend. Okay, into the weekly pivot here on our SPY. Okay, and as you can tell, this is a valid fib fan chart because see how the weekly pivots are stair stepping down along that line. So, just keep that in mind. That is a valid. So that's a trend that we're currently in. Are we going higher? Don't know. We're going lower. Don't know. So really don't know this morning, to be honest. But we are into a resistance here in the pre-market. So I'm not for sure what to do here. I'm gonna be honest. So we'll start with that one. Qs. Same time frame. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna zoom right in here. Show you some things I'm seeing. Okay, so bottom line is we are back above those July lows on the Qs. So this up here represents 6 months. Well, the last 6 months of last year inventory. Okay, so basically we have crossed the back over into that last 6 months of last year. So I think that's a big psychological area that we are currently trading above. We are above our weekly pivot. We are crossing out of our initial downtrend on our fib fans. Okay, so we do have a few things here working our way. We can also anchor this, activate calling. We might be able to anchor at all-time highs. Check that out real quick. So that gives you some idea how how we are trending. We are still right here is one of the weekly pivots right here. So we are stair stepping down on our weekly pivots. You know, we got into right above this line last time, rejected, right above that line again. Are we rejecting? I don't know. I mean, I really don't. Are we continuing to stair step down? I really don't know. So we'll go from there. In today's session, IWM. Okay, IWM is a lot weaker. Okay, so we are down into uh, yearly close for basically it's the 2021 open down here. So we are coming off the 2021 open here on the Russell. So just keep that in context here. And if I take this off, remove drawing, we'll just draw out this whole move here. I think it's relevant to be drawing this whole move out at this point. Haven't done this. There you go. That's what we're doing right here, right now in the Russell. We are trading right above our weekly pivot. You know, uh, so just keep this one on watch here, and so you can basically tell. You know, uh, this here is a really steep downtrend here. See that downtrend there? So I think we potentially has a. This here looks really strong here. So just heads up on that. I'm thinking that's a very strong breakout pattern. So just keep that one in this morning. See, you couldn't even trade this. You had to wait until this morning for it to happen. So I think there's definitely a chance that we're going to be coming up into our monthly pivot. That blue line represents our monthly pivot. So if I had to do suggest anything, be the long side for the Russell here. Okay, Megatech's catching a bid this morning. Remember, Wednesday, NVIDIA is reporting earnings. It was up over 4% a few minutes ago. So NVIDIA catching a nice little bid this morning. Right into our monthly pivot on that. Tesla was one of the techs showing some relative strength yesterday into the close. So we were closing right up here at our weekly pivot, and now we're gapping above our weekly pivot on that. Keep in mind, there's a lot of damage in this. This is a bear flag until proven otherwise. And so our monthly pivot's way up here, our quarter pivot's way up here. So there's still a lot of overtime resistance here. Apple, we are above our monthly pivot. Very bullish pattern here. Above our weekly pivot, above our monthly pivot. So above our quarterly pivot. very constructive scenario here to open the session today. So definitely keep that one on watch. Might be going up, retesting our supply zone here on our Apple. Okay. Five Facebook still dead money below the weekly, just dead money. I mean, it's up in the pre-market, but you're still below the weekly, and the downtrend's still intact on Facebook. Baba, nice little gap up here. If this is still one area I really getting heated, I'm getting excited about. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm stalking this. So I think a break above the monthly this time is going to be a breakout pattern on that one, possibly here on Baba. Microsoft into our weekly pivot, just not too healthy. This is one of the ones that have been sold off pretty hard here recently. Definitely keep that one on watch. Exxon Mobil's down this morning. Crude came in. Crude had maxed out on the optimism indicator, the crude oil, and now we got seeing it pare back a little bit of those some profit taking coming off the whole energy space, and so I could actually see quite a bit of profit taking possibly here in the energy space. I do think it is sustainable, but we'll see what happens going forward here. Taiwan Semiconductor catching a bid for the NVIDIA numbers. Bank of America. Okay, so let me put this Y10 year. Okay, 10-year yield. 10-year yield solidly above the 2% here. We're back up here at these highs. So, that's a warning sign also. Keep that in mind, guys. Tech does not like it when we start pushing out of this. And I did notice this morning they were talking about it. We even have a greater flattening of the yield curve this morning. So basically, the long end is not catching a bid like the front end of the curve. So that's what we're seeing right here. So basically, investors are requiring more risk protection, or they want more premium on the shorter dated treasuries, and then what the market's willing to price in for the longer dated. So flatten out the yield curve is not necessarily good for the banks. So let's keep an eye on our banks here. This is what's going on this morning. And like I mentioned, okay, we got a nice little bid so far this morning, still below our weekly pivot. I mean, it's above all the major moving averages on our banks. But yeah, we definitely want to keep this on a watch. This could be a sucker's bet here. Like I said, the flattening of the yield curve this morning, and Amazon was one of the best yesterday. So it was above, holding out really well here at the weekly pivot, above our monthly pivot. It's kind of a mix, but you're below your quarter. So I can see Amazon here in a not so distant future retesting your 20 SMA today in the supply zone. I can definitely see that scenario. Google's been really taking a hit here lately, right at that monthly pivot. This is the one that's been really getting hit pretty hard. This is probably going to be an underperformer today. We'll see what happens going forward into today's session. I think I charted out Google. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Okay, yeah. But we're fighting this 20 SMA here on Google today, but we're still below our weekly pivot. Some of these others, Walmart's reporting this week. Keep that in mind here. This here reporting tomorrow after hours. If we're catching a bid in this market, I can see a possible short squeeze here in Walmart today. I tried to trade it yesterday and it just ran over me. But yeah, if we are going to maintain a bid this morning, I still believe in that thesis that they're going to try to support Walmart going into earnings this week. So keep that one on watch. Home Depot, similar situation, but you do have the added worry about the higher yields. Higher yields tend to be bad for real estate, and Home Depot can have some symmetry there. Okay, so that's a few things. Oh yeah, United Healthcare. This is always the one to keep on watch here because it's such a heavy weighting on the Dow. So definitely keep an eye on your United Healthcare. We are right at our monthly pivot, so that's nothing there to suggest that it broke down yet. So keep that one on watch. So, oh yeah, pre-market real quick. Let me do my pre-market scan, and I'll call her quits. Let me find it here. Pre-market, there it is. Pre-market scan on volume this morning. So we got the 3-time ETS on the queue on fire this morning. UVXY, I mentioned to the guys last night, I thought it was going to be at 1550 this morning. Look at it, it's below that. So we just crossed below the 1550. So I had mentioned last night, UVXY back to 1550 this morning. We're already below that this early this morning. Okay, Qs are doing really well. Lucid. They did announce new positioning by big well investors, and all that data came out this morning. So that's another thing that's giving a little boost to this market. Okay, I don't think Lucid was mentioned here, but that's a pretty bearish chart on Lucid here. Even though we're getting a nice little bid this morning, I did want to point that out. Rivian was the one. I don't see Rivian on my scan here. There it is, way down here. A lot lighter volume on Rivian, but there was a position. A whale went and bought into Rivian, so that was on the news this morning. And then, the term whale, big cat investors. They came like Berkshire coming in, buying a big position up in a trade. That's what a whale. That's what that term comes from. Okay. So there were a few big whale bids. Rivian's one that really stuck out here. ATVI was bought by, like I said, by Berkshire, but that trade's dead already. That was before the announcement. Microsoft was buying them out, and so yeah, this is. I mean, it's not explosively positive volume here because that's what I'm saying here. There's some volume here. We're 6:30 in the morning, but it's not anything to get too excited about. So gold. So they're probably paring back some of this gold trade with the news that they might be pulling some of the troops back from the Russian border. So I don't know. I mean, uh, we'll see what happens going forward here. And then, AMD. Keep an eye on AMD. They did issue had a lot of shares because of the Xilinx uh, uh, merger. They concluded that yesterday, so they might be still issuing more shares today to finish out that merger deal. So I don't know exactly the timetable for all that. So I'm staying away from this one right now until we know for sure that they fully diluted the investors on AMD. Okay, guys. So if you'd like to, please retweet my video. Please like my videos on YouTube, especially YouTube. Okay, and that way I can get that better video quality and I can get the better upload uh, uh, feeds because it's taking about a minute. For every minute I record, it's taking a minute to upload it, and that's just way too long. Okay, guys. Yeah. Follow me at Gumby9662C on Twitter, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.